Imagine standing on a shore where waves of digital static, notifications, and flashing text crash against you. Every surge aims to provoke a reaction. Modern platforms capture attention by monetizing emotional outrage. They transform mental bandwidth into a commodity, engineered for maximum engagement. This technological acceleration has resulted in the Great Distraction. It is a state where the sheer volume of data leads to collective intellectual paralysis. When headlines are weaponized to trigger immediate responses, cognitive autonomy breaks down. We stop analyzing the world and begin reacting to a simulated version of it. This vulnerability is rooted in biological architecture. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman, pictured here, identified System 1 as the brain's fast, automatic, and emotionally reactive operating mode. System 1 evolved for physical survival in the wild, triggering instant reactions to environmental threats. In an age of digital stimuli, this instinctual reflex becomes a significant security flaw. Algorithms are tuned to bypass our logical filters. They target the brain's primitive circuitry to ensure we react before thinking. Constant reliance on these reflexes shifts the balance of power. Instead of users navigating media, the algorithms begin to dictate human behavior. Quiet replaces the noise. We can choose to step out of the storm and into a space defined by structure and logic. This requires engaging System 2, our slow and analytical cognitive mode. It functions as the mind's internal defense mechanism, though it requires effort to activate. This depicts the fortress of reason. It shows a stone structure shielding an individual from threats like logical fallacies, emotional outrage, and misinformation. Formal logic acts as the stone walls of this architecture, protecting our mental bandwidth from external manipulation. Cognitive sovereignty requires a deliberate architectural choice. It is a skill built through effort rather than a passive biological trait. To test these defenses, consider a public debate regarding an energy transition. An expert proposes a phased, data-driven plan for the electrical grid. An opponent interrupts, claiming the expert wants to shut down the grid immediately and leave citizens to freeze in their homes. We can freeze this moment to identify a specific rhetorical trap. This animation shows a straw man fallacy, where a fake, exaggerated version of an argument is built simply to be knocked down. System 1 naturally urges an immediate, aggressive response to this misrepresentation. System 2 initiates a different protocol, a mandatory 60-second pause. This time is used to analyze the underlying data and the structure of the attack before formulating a response. Identifying the fallacy and deploying the pause neutralizes the emotional bait. The manipulation fails to breach the mind's defenses. This classical bust of Socrates represents a tradition of rigorous questioning. While it is an ancient method, it provides the practical tools needed to navigate modern information environments. The habit of deconstructing premises filters out sensationalism. It forces us to examine the assumptions behind the content in our daily feeds. This is metacognition, thinking about how we think. It is the foundational trait that allows for human agency in a reactive world. Analyzing the mechanism of manipulation is the most reliable way to avoid becoming its victim. This primary diagram establishes the triangle of wisdom. It integrates our philosophical defenses with mathematical modeling and the physical laws of reality. Philosophy sits at the top, serving as the steering mechanism for human capability. It ensures that technical skill remains aligned with ethical intent. Whenever digital stress attempts to hijack your reasoning, implement a 60-second pause. Use that time to retreat to your internal fortress. True agency involves letting the digital storm rage outside while you master the space within. This shift transforms a person from a passenger of the automated age into its architect.